As I was watching and listening to the inauguration yesterday, there were certain people that kept kind of crossing my mind. One was this gentleman, State Representative Josh Kale, who said months and months and months ago he believed that the then candidate would win overwhelmingly, and we would have an opportunity to do things in Western Pennsylvania that need to get done to build generational wealth. And he is State Representative Josh Kale. Josh, what did you think of yesterday? Pretty patriotic, pretty historic, and it's not going to be business as usual, but there is going to be a lot of business. Wouldn't you agree? Good evening.
Hey, Rob, thank you for having me on again. Yeah, I was impressed with the how efficient everything was run yesterday. And even when there was a little bit of a hiccup with Carrie Underwood, she was absolutely amazing, singing without any music. But overall, the way the Trump administration got straight to business, what a difference from the last time that he was inaugurated. And one of the major differences, I think, now is that not just the administration, not just the president, but I believe that the outside world, including the press, is defeated in some regard and isn't being as, resistance focused like they were 8 years ago. President Trump has earned his honeymoon, as they call it, with presidents. He won overwhelmingly. He won the popular vote. And now it's his opportunity to really implement the agenda that the American people voted for, and particularly for Western Pennsylvania. The law and order stuff is critical, not just here, but everywhere, because if you don't have safe streets, then prosperity doesn't really have a chance to follow. But beyond that, as it relates to industry and the natural gas industry and how that can be converted into manufacturing, the president has really shown that he understands that. Our new U.S. Senator, Dave McCormick, has really shown that he appreciates the value of our natural gas industry, of our manufacturing industry. And the president got straight to work on it yesterday. And I'm looking forward to working with him and his administration and seeing what we're going to be able to accomplish with a renewed focus on really what I consider the blocking and tackling, the nuts and bolts of government, which is first to protect your constituency, and then also to bring about as best as you can prosperity, which usually means getting out of the way. The president understands that. Our United States Senate understands that. The United States House of Representatives understands that. I'm hoping and looking forward to a successful 2025 and beyond.
We have seen it firsthand with Royal Dutch Shell and their footprint, and that's the reason why I brought you here tonight. Liquefied natural gas, one of the first things he says, get the permits back, let's get drilling, let's get moving forward. This is a commodity that is such a amazing commodity that it could grow our economic wealth in this country like oil did for OPEC. That's what I'm talking about here. And if there was ever a time for this man to get elected to give people an opportunity to make a living and to be able to receive residuals, those who have these drilling pads on their property, saving some of these family farms that have been in families for over 100 years, the sky's the limit. This is a very exciting time in Western Pennsylvania, and we could see such an increase as far as our economy that when it happens, most people are going to be in disbelief what they're going to see happen in a positive way, Josh.
Yeah, you're exactly right. And Rob, you bring this up. This issue cannot be more important for Western Pennsylvania, for really the whole Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. And let me explain. The issue is that the Biden administration halted the development of what's called LNG, liquefied natural gas, export facility, so that we could put it on ships and send it overseas. Now, this is really an issue that goes beyond just our local economics, which is huge. It's huge for our region. It's huge for our jobs. It's huge for potential development and further growth. It's a big deal for southwestern Pennsylvania. But if you look a step further and you look at what's happening in Europe, when Russia invaded Ukraine, Europe was still getting their gas from Russia. And Russia, their war machine, was basically being funded by their energy industry, which is about 40% of their economy. And it was being funded by the very people that they were essentially attacking. So Russia's war machine was funded because we couldn't get our natural gas overseas because the Biden administration wouldn't approve this export facility for LNG. Now, let's take it one step further than just the national security situation, but it's also an environmental benefit. A lot of people outside of Western Pennsylvania don't appreciate how clean American natural gas, in particular Pennsylvania natural gas, is. Pennsylvania natural gas is about 40% cleaner than the natural gas that Russia is burning and sending to Europe. So what's happening right now is instead of burning American clean natural gas from the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, we are having Europeans rebuild coal-fired plants because they're no longer accepting natural gas from Russia. And to avoid an energy emergency, they decided to refire up the coal-fired plants because the renewables just weren't getting it done. Now imagine if we could export as much natural gas as possible while still maintaining lower costs for us and our consumers and increasing jobs. It is realistic to have a significant reduction in carbon emissions if we are going to use and export our own natural gas. So we are exporting cleaner power sources, we are exporting freedom to our allies, and we are importing American jobs, Western Pennsylvania jobs. There is a win across the board for everybody. The fact that this was shut down was criminal, and I mean that not in a technical way, but it was just a poor, I'll say, political negligence was committed by the Biden administration for doing that, and it was because of these Looney Tune environmentalists. There is no right answer for them other than renewables, but renewables aren't getting the job done. They tried it in Germany, they tried it in Europe, and when Germany lost their source of natural gas, they had to rebuild coal-fired power plants, and that's what they're running on now. I mean, this is fact. This is the reality of what's happening right now in Europe. And by the way, China is on pace to build 100 new coal-fired plants just in 2025. We need to find an energy policy that's grounded in reality, that helps Western Pennsylvanians, that lowers the cost for our consumers, that helps our allies internationally, and all at the same time, it'll lower carbon footprint across the entire globe. The only answer is natural gas, and in particular, Pennsylvania's natural gas. I'm very pleased with what the Trump administration did on the first day in this regard. I'm looking forward to seeing it develop further.
All right, State Representative Josh Kale. Josh, thank you so much. Drive safe. I know you're on the road. We appreciate your time tonight, and we'll do it again real soon, okay?
Thank you, Rob. I appreciate you. If I could make one other comment, I just wanted to say my thoughts and prayers go out to my good friend Matt Gergley and his family. He's a state representative that passed away from the McKeesport area. Edgar Thompson plant actually is in his region as well. Great guy, great family guy. Even though he's from the other side of the aisle, we got along and worked very well together. He will be sorely missed. Just wanted to just say my thoughts and prayers, and our family's thoughts and prayers are with him and his family.
I couldn't agree more. Did not have the pleasure of meeting him, but I've heard nothing but just incredible comments about him. So no problem. I'm glad you did that. Have a great rest of your night, okay?
All right, Rob. Talk to you soon, buddy.
All right. Listen, we're going to take a short break, come back on the other side. We're going to get going on the phone lines, talk about a number of things that are tied into this LNG story, liquefied natural gas, and how it could actually benefit this region. And we would be talking about affordable housing in a different light, because some promises for some affordable housing, well, they're being stalled. And that's something you can't do now. You just can't do. Any comments on your mind, things that you want to chime in and discuss, feel free, 866-391-1020. And Corey O'Connor, who's running for mayor in the city of Pittsburgh, had something very stern to say about the current mayor and resources such as snow removal and things of that nature, and why we have to figure it out sooner than later. So we've got a lot to dive in tonight. I'd love to hear from you, 866-391-1020.